going. And just a couple of notes I have before we get started. One is if you are attending in person for the IWIB meeting, there was an email that went out on Friday and then again this morning. That is a second RSVP that is being requested by Rivian. So the first one was just your name and email, so you were on the list, and then the second is some additional information that Rivian's asking. So if you could please fill that out. And just wanted everybody to know that there was two, because I've had a couple people reach out and say, is this the second one or I already did this? So with that, want to hand the floor over to Marcy, and Marcy is with Illinois State Board of Education, as you can see there, and she's going to take it away and tell us all about our secondary career and technical education.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it. So hopefully today, this is something that you will all learn more about how career and tech ed can also connect to the workforce system. There's a lot of work that we do that is really connected. And I think the more everybody knows about this, the better, more robust we can make career and technical education. So in 2018, the Perkins 5 was reauthorized, and it gave us an opportunity to sit back and think about what we want CTE, career and technical education, to look like in Illinois. It is a joint project with the Illinois Community College Board. And so we worked together on a state plan. And in our state plan, one of the things we talked about was what is the purpose and what do we do with Perkins? So the purpose of Perkins is to develop that. It's more not just technical skills, but it's also academic skills, it's employability skills. And it serves students in grades 5 through the post-secondary level, which is usually at the community college level. And so the funds can be used in any of those areas to support career and technical education. The Illinois State Board of Education, or ISB, is the agency that's responsible for the implementation of Perkins 5. So even though ISB and the Illinois Community College Board, ICCB, are partners, ISB is the delegated agency that is responsible for Perkins 5 as a whole. When we wrote our state plan, we came up with priorities, and these are our goals. And I won't read the goals to you because I know that you're able to read those, but I want you to sit back and look at it and think, where is it that you can see business and industry engaged in career and technical education? There's a lot of different places here. You can see in goal 2, how we are strengthening what is offered so that it meets the needs of the workforce system in the education program. In goal 4, you're going to see where we're trying to be more responsive to those needs. And we look at the labor market information, employer input, and we look at high skill, high wage, and in-demand occupations. You'll also see in goal 6, where we offer work-based learning opportunities for students, and that's them going into the business and industry and learning about what each industry is about and how to expand their knowledge. And then also even in goal 1, looking at industry recognized credentials. Many times we hear a business or an industry say, we're not interested in industry recognized credentials. But when you sit back and you think about if a student came to you with a welding certificate or a forklift certificate, and then you have another student who comes to you not with that, you would most definitely want to hire somebody who already has some knowledge and skill in relationship to welding or the forklift. So I think that industry recognized credentials are a benefit to those high school students, and we want to make sure that we are connecting to what each business and industry is offering. Just a little bit about our funding structure so that you understand how it works. We have 2 types of funding. One is the Perkins funding. Again, that is split between ISB and ICCB. ISB gets 60% of the funds. ICCB gets 40% of the funds. In fiscal year 25, we get $50,832,462. And of that money, each of us have to set aside 85% for grants, 8% for leadership, 2% for our state institutions, which is the Department of Juvenile Justice, the Department of Corrections, the School of the Visually Impaired, and the School of the Hard of Hearing. And then we each get to set aside 5% for our administrative funds. In the state funds, we have a state line item. And this past year, we were able to get an additional $10 million for career and tech ed. So we were at 58 million in our funds. And those funds are all at ISB. And we distribute those funds through a variety of different ways. We give money for secondary students to offer career and technical education in each of the schools, even though we are a consortium. I'll explain that in a second. We look at funds for elementary, which is K through 8, that offers career exploration and career awareness. We give funds for leadership to pay for our education for employment system directors. We have 26 area career centers in the state, and those are additional funds for those area career centers. And then we set aside money, and there we set aside money for the Education Career Pathway Grant. We have funds for our regional offices of education that provide support for students who are in the regional safe schools for career and technical education. We give funds to the career and technical student organizations. Department of Juvenile Justice and the Department of Human Services also receives additional funds for us from our state funding. This is our student participation in career and technical education. The 24 dates numbers are not out yet. They will be out soon, probably the end of October. But as you can see, from 22 to 23, our funding, our participation went up. A participant is a student who participates in one career and technical education course. And a concentrator is a student who takes 2 or more courses in a single program of study, like welding or manufacturing. And as you can see, our numbers have gone up. Our concentrators really went up about 22,000 students. And our participants really went up about 11,000 students. So we're growing. After the COVID, we really lost some students and programs didn't continue. But by doing this, you can see that it's now starting to ramp back up. We also have to submit performance measures to the U.S. Department of Ed. And this was in part of our program of study. Part of our Perkins State Plan. So this is our measures. And as you can see, when you look at this, we have, you'll see a green line on here. That was our targets that we submitted to the U.S. Department of Ed. And what you'll see is where we're at in meeting those performance targets. If it's green, it means that we exceeded our target, like 95.79 is our exceeded. If you see it in blue, it means that we met it within 90%. And if there was red, and there isn't any, luckily, that would mean that we did not meet even 90% of our targets. Just a little quick review of this. I'm sure you understand the 4-year and the 6-year, or the extended graduation rate. The academic performance in proficiency in reading, math, and science is based on our state performance tests, which was SAT and is now ACT. Post-program placement is where our students 6 months after they graduate from high school. And we've been working really hard. For a long time, all we collected was the college. And now we're working really hard, and we're getting students that are employed 6 months after they graduate. So I anticipate the numbers to really go up when 24 comes out. We've been working with the Illinois Department of Employment Securities to help us pull those numbers. What we aren't able to collect is students who are in military and in the Peace Corps. Those are 2 data points we're not able to pull as of yet. Non-traditional programs are programs where there is more than 25% of a specific gender, such as male nurses. That would be a non-traditional program, or women in welding would be a non-traditional program. And then we have the program quality attained post-secondary credits. This is dual credits that students would achieve in career and technical education. So, it's not real high, when we think about career and technical, or when we think about dual credit, but we're getting there. And then the work-based learning, that is really low when you think about where we would love to be in our performance for work-based learning. And this is where students can go out and engage with businesses. And I will talk about that in a second. We are a consortia state, so we give our funds out to 53 of the employee education for employee CTE systems, and you can see them on this map where they're located. So especially when we think about the LWIAs and how you work with our education for employment, you can see who's in your area and who to work with. We have a directory on our website that you can connect better with these CTE system directors. School districts are eligible, but they are part of this consortia. So there are a few grants that we give out that can go directly to school districts, but a majority of the funds flow through the CTE system, then on to the school districts. Again, we have 26 area career centers in the state. There is 11 state charter schools that would be eligible with funding, but they'd have to be offering career and tech ed programs, and not very many charter schools offer career and tech ed. Of course, community colleges through the Illinois Community College Board, and then regional offices of education who have the regional safe school programs. And some of them have been applying for other grants in their region, such as the Education Career Pathway Grant. Services that we provide, here's just a few of some of them that we offer. Of course, I just explained the EFE systems. Again, work-based learning, we are working with school districts to offer work-based learning opportunities. We're working on a manual. We have created a designation for educators to put on their license where they have been trained in learning about work-based learning, so we have some consistency in the state. Students are able to get industry credentials. Hopefully, all the school districts are talking to their the businesses in their area to see where those needs are. There is a local needs assessment that they all have to do, and they should be looking at that as they look to see what they should be offering in their schools. Again, the dual credit, which is offered more than likely through the community colleges. There are grants that school districts are getting. We have one that is on manufacturing, engineering, technology, and trades to start a new program in one of those areas. We have Ed Pathway Grant, which we've been doing since 2019, and that's allowing school districts to apply and to offer opportunities for students to become educators in the state by going through some education classes, getting some dual credit out of the way. Of course, we have the Career and Tech Ed. There are formula grants that go out to school districts, both in the federal and the state. And then we have a dedicated line for agriculture. And there's about 5 grants underneath the agriculture program. We offer a lot of technical assistance, professional development out in the field through a contract that we have with Northern Illinois University. College and career pathway endorsements, and that's something that I'll talk about in a second. It is something that it will benefit businesses on students in specific 7 different areas of the career and technical education. Programs of study, which are aligned to the post-secondary so that it's a seamless transition. We have support for working with members of special populations. There's 9 types of special populations, and I'm sure many of you are aware of those special populations. It's areas such as English learners, low income, students with disabilities, single parents, and homeless, migrant. And so youth in care. Like I said, there's 9 overall. So we're working to support those students and getting them opportunities to participate in career and technical education. There's career exploration and career awareness that can happen in all, grades 5 through 12, but it really can happen in K through 12. So there's a lot of opportunities to learn more about all the careers that are out there for each student. This is the career and technical pathways that I was talking about. You can see here on the left on this table, the different endorsement areas that we offer. School districts will submit an application to offer these endorsements. And then we have a crosswalk of the career clusters that are connected to each one of these endorsement areas. And in the future, there is going to be a change to our career cluster framework, and that will change as we move along. But I hope that as as LWIAs and as businesses and industry, that you can see where just about every career falls under one of these career clusters. This is what a program of study is, and I mentioned a little bit about that. What I want to highlight is that when you have a program of study, it is non-duplicative. So you don't do something in secondary and again in post-secondary. It should be a seamless and progress in specificity. It should have academic standards. It should have academic pieces and technical knowledge and skills. It should be aligned to the needs of industry. You should not be a school district should not be offering things like underwater basket weaving if nobody in their area has a need for underwater basket weaving. They should have multiple entry and exit points. That means that they could graduate from high school and go into a job, or they can go on to college. They can go into their job and decide that they want to get some college credit. So now they can go back into the area that they were in, and it will continue to grow. They can go into the military. So it's opportunities to go in and out. And there's also an opportunity to get a recognized post-secondary credential by being in this program of study. Hopefully you can see this. What I wanted to share with you is this is one of our matrices for one of our programs. So as you can see here, if we were offering machine tool technology machinist, the first group is just an awareness of what is in these in this program. And so it's an introductory. So we have energy in this program. We have manufacturing. There's transportation. It's a variety. And some of these will fall under different areas of different programs. But then you'll see as we move along, it is growing in specificity. So now it's growing to blueprint reading, industry safety. Then it goes on to precision metal production, computer integrated manufacturing. And each one, as you can see, advances their skills and their learning as they move along. And then at the bottom, you can see there's a workplace experience. And this is where students who have taken these classes now have the opportunity to go out into the real world and to see how this work is applied and be able to apply some of their skills in the businesses and industry. So how can you work with your school districts? There's a variety of different ways to work with school districts. They could be a career awareness activity, it could be career exploration, or it could be engaged in the workplace experience. You can see under career awareness, it could just be stopping in and doing a career fair or being a guest speaker. It could be a career exploration where you take the students to your business. It's an opportunity to offer internships and apprenticeships for students as well. And as you can see, as you move along, the engagement for an employer can grow. We also have a database to recognize all of our work-based learning employer champions. This is where business and industry can go in. They can submit their survey and talk about what districts they're working with and what opportunities they're offering for these schools. We like for the businesses to go in and do this because we feel like that, you know who you're working with, what opportunities you're providing, and having a connection to the school district. So if you get a chance, check this out too. Maybe if you're not on there, you might want to make sure that you get your business on this list. So with that said, I'm going to stop sharing and see if there's any questions that anybody might have for me.
Thank you, Marcy. That was fantastic. Does anybody have any questions for Marcy about secondary career and technical education and their partnership with the IWIB?
How well known is the program for your credentials that gets done in high school? Do you feel how well do you think that uptake is going?
Do you think more, you mean more like the career, college and career pathway endorsements,
Yeah.
those?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you know,
endorsements, excuse me, I was searching for the right word.
yeah, that's fine. There is, I don't think we've made it popular enough, which is why I wanted to make sure that this was put in there. You know, there is some colleges that are offering benefits to students. Like I think ISU has offered a scholarship for students who come out with a endorsement. There's some that have been offering free free books, or free some tuition discounts. But I've heard, like, and I can't tell you who it is, but I've heard like some businesses have said, if you come to me with an endorsement, I will guarantee that you can have an interview. You might not be guaranteed a job, but I might guarantee you an interview. So I think the thing is, we have to somehow get the information out to show that these students are college and career ready, and they're ready to come into a business and an industry in these specific areas. And they should make some quality, employees. They've had essential employability skills. They've had professional learning. These are academic skills that they have. They have to work at least 60 work hours before they get this credential. And it only is for seniors when they graduate from high school. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And I think you're absolutely right that if you had somebody who has this and somebody who did not have this, and you were interviewing them for a job, then it shows a lot of application and determination to get something that it's not easy. And for sure, most employers, I would think, would look at that as a differentiator.
Yeah, and we have been we give every district who applies a seal that they can put on the student's transcript, so that hopefully the business sees that when they come. So even if a student might not bring it to attention, it is highlighted.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I really did the high level CTE. If anybody ever wants to learn more about career technical education, we're doing so much and there's so many things. We do an annual report every year that highlights all the great things that the school districts are doing. So if you're ever interested in seeing that, that's always posted on our website as well, just to see what all the different systems are doing across the state.
And that is something, Marcy, if you would like, I'm happy to share that out when you have it complete with the,
Okay.
that's something that the IWIB members would like to see.
Sure, absolutely. And there might be, I don't know if you ever want to share the state plan that we also did. In Illinois, we don't have a combined WIOA plan and a Perkins plan, but as you know, we are trying to be as engaged as we can with all of the WIOA work, and we work with DCEO. So I'd love to share the state plan with that as well, just to make sure that everybody can see that as in addition.
Happy to do so.
Great.
Thanks very much, Marcy.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other questions for Marcy?
No, but just thank you so much for the info.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you all very much. As I said, tomorrow we have both all the IDES presentations. So 3 presentations from IDES, and Rennie Patrick will be on to talk about, Rena will be on to talk about TANF. So quite a few tomorrow, and then we'll talk about SNAP and post-secondary CTE on Wednesday. And look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday, either in person or online, for our IWIB meeting at Rivian.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So very much.
Bye.
Thank you.